Good evening, Elizabeth Ormsby. Looking at the question for Chapter 5, which is imagine you have been asked to develop a performance assessment program for employees' development. What techniques could you use to adequately evaluate employee performance as comprehensively as possible? So thinking about Murphy's List, we've got a few options here. We've got paper and pencil, job skills test, on-site, hands-on, off-site, hands-on, simulation, task ratings, and global ratings. So I decided to draw on a few of these based on the error causes within performance assessment, and I thought through an example, and I think one way to evaluate especially hands-on skills or more technical skills is to evaluate during the training phase, or towards the end of the training phase. So you have individuals that get taught something, whatever you want to call it, and then once they have learned the material and have seen it done, then they are evaluated via paper and pencil assessment, and that helps the instructor or the trainer or supervisor, whoever it is, kind of understand where that person is and if they require a little bit more training before moving forward. And then you move on to a hands-on assessment, which gives the individual, now that they've had the opportunity to show their performance, paper pencil, now they can actually demonstrate their performance. And by this time, you would, assume that that person is a little bit more comfortable with what they're doing and will be less nervous to do it in front of people. And I think another key aspect here is to have multiple assessors, and whether that's done, one person does it this day and one another day, or you just have multiple people present during an assessment, that could help reduce some of the error caused by the assessor and the variation in their perception of the individual or their experience or their personality. I think that could really help reduce that if you have at least two assessors evaluate that employee's performance. And then, once you have that assessment in that training phase and in that job skill learning phase, you kind of have that record of how people are grasping concepts and what kind of learner they are, and how quickly they can pick up on new things. And I think that's all really valuable information. And then next you can kind of move into the work assessment. So once they're actually doing the job, and I think we really have to look at that in role and extra role, like they discussed in the textbook, of both of those aspects. So not just exactly what is defined as their job performance, but kind of like we talked about with the training, are they coachable? Are they quick to pick things up? So now we're in the actual work assessment. Are they willing to help others? Are they able to communicate what they need to communicate? Are they able to work well with others, to work well in a team, but then also that in role, which is, here is what my job tells me what I need to do. And I think getting that evaluation from not only the supervisor but also coworkers and the individual, how do you perceive you're doing, how do your peers perceive you're doing, and then how does your supervisor perceive that you're doing. I think that really gives that kind of whole person view for an evaluator of an individual. And I think that these performance assessments should be the behaviorally anchored rating scales. So they should be giving more specific, not just good, average, bad, but what does it actually mean to be good at your job, and kind of help those evaluators understand where they should be rating you, and help reduce some of that error in perception of what good really is, and kind of reduces that relativity, they're doing well compared to others. So I think that behaviorally anchored rating scale would really be beneficial in reducing some of the error as well.